What is up, everybody? This is Hunter with Lost Socket Garage coming to you with a little bit of a different video. Today, I want to talk about the real truth, the hard stuff about doing a coupe to fastback conversion. Let's get it. All right, as I'm perched up to a 67J code that we just converted to a fastback, I wanted to talk about some of the harder things that come along with these conversions. And we've done over 20 of these conversions so far. So I have a pretty good idea of what each and every single one of you DIY guys is going to face. Now, this video is going to be geared a little bit more towards the DIY guys versus someone that has a coupe and wants a quality shop to do the conversion for them, like us. But this is for the guy that is shopping for a coupe or already has a coupe and is looking to take this project on, okay? So since we've done so many of these, I know a lot of the pitfalls. I know a lot of the frustrations that come along with these conversions. You're gonna find a lot of videos out there that make it look really, really easy. I've had feedback saying we make it look easy. It's not. It's really hard. And I want to walk you through some of the steps here, some of the things that you're going to face. So first and foremost, you're going to need a solid coupe. If you don't already have a coupe, now you have to know what to look for and what's going to cause problems in the future. Now, if you guys want a dedicated video on exactly what to look for when trying to find a donor coupe for your coupe to fastback conversion, leave a comment down below. You know, we can do a quick video on some things to really look for. We did cover a few of these things in another video that's going to be in one of these corners when we talk about what you get with an $18,000 fastback. But finding a quality coupe is difficult, and you really need to have kind of your end goal in mind when looking for a coupe. Do I buy a shell coupe that I'm just going to do a fastback conversion to, do a Coyote to later on down the road? Do I want to buy a coupe that already has a drivetrain in it to make it to where once I finish the actual fastback conversion that I have a running driving fastback? So be careful with the coupes that you buy. Be careful with the price point that you're looking at for these coupes. Now, once you have a coupe and you want to convert it to a fastback yourself, first off, you're going to need the right tools. Again, one of these corners, I'm going to be putting up a link to a video that we did a little while back on all the tools that you're going to need, well, the majority of the tools that you're going to need to do this fastback conversion. Check the video out. Those are the majority of the tools that we use. Now, I did that video, you know, a while back, 6 months ago, a year ago, or whatever. The tools really haven't changed that much, so it's pretty accurate as to what you're going to need. But you're going to be making a lot of runs to Harbor Freight and to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever to get additional tools, etc. But that video is going to give you a good starting point. The next thing, you're going to need the right parts. Now, with the right parts, you have to have a vision of the car, okay? So if you're just starting this out and you just got your coupe, I want you to sit down and I want you to sketch it out or write down what you want your fastback, converted fastback, to look like. Do you want Shelby bits? Do you want a Shelby tail panel and Shelby deck lid and scoops? Are you doing an Eleanor conversion? Are you doing mini tubs? Are you doing a stock tail lamp panel with Shelby bits, you know, Shelby deck lid and Shelby quarter panel extensions? Really get an idea of what your goal, your end goal for the car is ahead of time, because you're going to find that if you do this coupe to fastback conversion and then you want to throw a big old honking motor in this, a 390 or a 408 stroker, or you want to do a Coyote swap, or a couple of our customers are actually doing electric swaps, you're going to need bigger tires. You're going to need more room. Now, the perfect time to do mini tubs on a vehicle is going to be when it's cut in half, because it's right there. You don't have to deal with any interior panels, etc. So you need to do a little bit of planning ahead of time before you actually do this conversion, before you get started. Now, as far as the right metal and the right parts, now you can get metal from a lot of different places. CJ Pony is a great place. We're actually Dynacorn dealers, as you've probably seen on a couple of our videos before. We highly recommend at least their Ford Mustang parts. They're unwelded sides. We did a video. Again, click on the little box at the end. You can go to the video. We'll show you how to save, a little over $1,000 if you have a 67 or a 68 Mustang by buying different parts. Here at Lost Socket Garage, I'm always happy to send out part lists to you with part numbers, etc., so that you can get all the correct metal. But doing a little bit of research, a little bit of due diligence on who has the correct parts for a conversion, that's going to be a big thing for you, and what all is needed. So for example, the metal kit, it doesn't stop at the metal kit. You also need a fold down rear seat. You also need the bracket kit. You also need new door windows as well as rear glass. You need new interior panels for the rear. So there's a lot of stuff that you actually do need aside from just the metal bits. So do your due diligence. Give me a call, shoot me an email. Hey, what else am I going to need outside of this? So once you have the correct parts, now you're into cutting down the car. When you cut down the car and you put all the metal back together, you got to understand that the parts are not going to fit. We did a measurement video for the 67 and 68 not too long ago, but you have to understand with these cars, these are not exact measurements, and not one measurement is going to be true across the board. I can pull measurements off of a 67 S code Fastback. I can put it right next to another original Fastback, a C code or another S code. Your B pillars are going to be a little bit different from one car to another. That's how they were made. They were made by hand. So a lot of this is trial and error. Now we can give you the ballpark measurements that we use to make everything work, but understand there's going to be tolerances there. And understand that if you go to your coupe right now and you measure out your B-pillar gap from driver's side, and then you go over and you do the passenger side, that gap is going to be different. 9 times out of 10, it'll be 35.5 on your driver's side, and it'll be 35 5/8 or 35 1/4 on your passenger side. Again, originally these were hand-built cars. They're beautiful cars, but the caveat in building cars that were hand-built originally is that there's very few guideposts for you to go by. There's no direct measurements. So a lot of this is going to be fiddling. Now keep in mind, once you cut your car down, you're going to run into other issues. You're going to find other stuff. When you chop a roof and you chop a quarter panel in inner structure, you're going to find that sometimes you need to patch your wheel wells if you're not going to replace them. Sometimes you're going to need floor pan patches, firewall to floor patches. You're going to need kick panel patches. You're going to run into stuff. So as you run into stuff, when you're cutting the car down, make a little list of it. And make sure that when you're taking on those smaller tasks, that you're doing them in a correct order. So if you need to do a whole new floor pan in your car, go ahead and wait till you cut the car in half and it's all braced up and everything to put the new floor pan in. Because it's much easier. Now, technically you can slip a floor pan in like this and do this little number if the roof is still on the car, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. So keep in mind, you're gonna run into other issues you wanna fix. Don't let that get to you. Now, my next point is when you're putting the car back together, stuff's not gonna fit right. You're gonna need a billion self-tappers and the car's gonna go, it's gonna get put together and it's gonna come apart 100 times. You're gonna screw something in on one end of the car, and then when you have your measurement done, you're gonna screw it in, and then you're gonna be operating on the other part of the car, and it's gonna change the measurement a little bit from where you just screwed it in. So plan your welds, plan your panels accordingly to put them on in a correct order. You're gonna have to bend. You're gonna have to cut and trim. You're gonna have to kick the shit out of some of these panels. Now, Dynacorn makes a great product, but again, this is repop stuff. And any of you guys out there that have purchased repop doors or anything like that in the past are gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, a quick break here. If any of this information is helpful to you, please, please, please consider subscribing, hit the like button, comment below. It really, really helps us out as a shop, and it helps us to continue to bring content to you. Back to it. Now, Fitment, it's going to be challenging. Now, we've done 20 or so of these. There is a new issue and a new challenge on every single car that we get. Again, this goes back to the nature of these cars being hand-built. If the car is twisted a little bit or it has imperfections, the way they laid the floor pan originally, there's going to be a different problem on every single car you do. But the important part is doing your research on different methods that are going to help you get your measurements where you want them to be. We've done a few little videos on pulling in the filler panel, making that sit flush, using angle iron, spreading your trunk gap to get that 53-inch gap with a hydraulic spreader. There's a bunch of different videos and a bunch of different tricks to help you line stuff up. If your quarter panel is not sitting flush on your rocker panel, you can use angle iron to kind of pull it down. There's a bunch of little tricks. Just don't let it get too frustrating to you, because this stuff is not going to fit out of the box. Don't expect it to. You're going to have to will it and make it fit and make it work. That's a big issue with these cars, but don't let yourself get too frustrated with it. This kind of leads into my next point: develop patience. If you don't have patience, this conversion is going to drive you up a fucking wall. So develop patience, a lot of it. Walk away when you need to. Problem solving is key here. Be a student, ask for help. Remember that this is a process, it's not an event. We did a video a little while back on, in fact, it was the video about saving money on the 67 and 68 side assemblies. I had to walk away when we got a pre-welded kit from Dynacorn, and I could not figure out why we had a 1/2-inch gap for our door gap. And we went through a bunch of trial and error, couldn't figure it out. We were just assuming that they welded that side assembly correctly. And that assumption was wrong. I had to walk away after staring at the car for 2 hours. I had to walk away and just start doing something else to kind of reset my mind. You're going to have to do that. So be patient. And in conclusion on this kind of short video, you're going to start this journey with a lot of excitement, a lot of hope. You're going to be looking forward to your new Fastback, and you're going to go into it saying, I totally can do this. I know that I'm going to be able to get this done. And you're right. The majority of you are going to be able to get this done on your own. But once everything is removed, you know, all of your interior is out of the car, it's a shell of a car, and you put it on the jig or you put the framing in for your support, you're going to get a little bit overwhelmed, because at that point in time, you're going to be cutting your car in half. And that's going to be overwhelming for you. That's to be expected. Then you're going to get tired of grinding or cutting out spot welds and grinding and prepping surfaces for new metal, etc. It's going to get tiresome. Take a break. After that, you're going to have to be a student. You're going to have to learn those different techniques to get metal to do what you want it to do and to get all of your gaps right. Then you're going to be pissed and discouraged when stuff doesn't fit right. You'll doubt yourself. But if you can push through that overwhelming feeling and the frustration and the anger and the doubt to continue to work hard and learn and keep your eye on the prize, you're going to be really proud of what you accomplished and better for it. But shit, that's not just cars. I mean, that's life. Take the issues head on. Push through it. And once you push through it, I guarantee you're going to be happy with the result. That's all from us today at Lost Socket Garage. Again, it helps us out a lot if you subscribe to the channel, if you like. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we have a Patreon that I'm trying to kind of get going a little bit. So to support the show, support the shop, please consider subscribing and following us on the other platforms. This is a project you can do yourself as long as you're prepared. You can do it. Until next time, don't be a dick, do what you love, and as always, keep on driving. Peace.